Okay, so I'm going to move a bit into teaching about protection. You probably all are very aware that our hearts can be very protected, and they can also be very open. And we all would know that range from open to closed. And the main reason, obviously, why we protect our hearts is generally because of past pain. And so I'm just gonna change my screen. Yeah. So it's because of old pain. And when we get hurt from early on and later, whenever we are hurting and we're not feeling it fully, we protect the heart, which is completely understandable. And the more hurt is there and we're not able to feel it fully, the more the heart goes into protection. And the protection in the heart can come through sometimes as a metallic shield. Like when you start exploring it, it can be like a warrior that has shielded the heart. It can be many different materials. When we work a bit more into energy, it can be bricks, it can be wood, it can be anything, but it's the feeling of the heart is shut down and not open. How to work with protection in the right way is really important. And when I remember in one of my metaphysics trainings, my teacher was saying, I actually was learning about energy reading. When you come across somebody and you read their heart and you read protection, always check what's being protected. Never judge the protection for, oh, why is your heart so closed? You should open your heart. Not at all. It's like when there is protection, it has a reason, it has a history. And the way I look at protection is there's three aspects to it. One is I always look at the positive intention and find out, why is this protection here? What is it doing for you? And the second part is, what is it protecting you from? It's usually someone in the past that really hurt you, and then you had to develop it in relationship to that person. And what is being protected? And most of the time, what's really being protected is vulnerability or something positive in us. So that's the way to look at protection. It has a positive intention. It protects us from somebody or a situation, and it protects something inside of us. One simple little example that comes to mind that many people have experienced when you grow up and your parents are fighting. And for a child, that is very threatening. And then they don't help you to work through that and ask, how did that affect you? And are you scared now? Or are you hurting? When that can't be processed, then the child will protect their heart and build a protection. And if that's not resolved through feeling the feelings, then the protection stays. And then we can keep protection sometimes from very early on, and we have developed it, and then we just don't know how to open the heart anymore because the protection becomes inflexible or rigid. And one of the examples that I always love to understand that more was, let's say it was really rainy and cold at some point, and then you put thick layers on and an umbrella, have always an umbrella with you. And then later your life changes and you're not in the same situation anymore, but you're still wearing the thick protective clothing and the umbrella, but it's sunshine. So our protection is often outdated. And when we work with it in the right way, it starts changing. And so it's not about getting rid of it, it's working with it in the right way, accessing the deeper wisdom behind it. I always say, if any protection we come across has a history, has a story to tell. And when we get to that, the protection will soften or change. And then it changes on its own, not because we force it or we take a hammer and break the wall. We understand why uncover the history, heal what needs to be healed, and then the protection changes. And something that might have been a very thick wall might turn into a glowing field of light or whatever. I mean, there are many, many options how it can change. But the most important thing is that protection needs to be accepted. Just having a quick look if I got the core points. Right. So when we then work with our protection in the right way, it will turn into more and more healthy protection. And one of the healthy protections I love to teach, and some of you who've worked with me will know that, is what I call the bubble of light. So you just imagine you have a field of light around you, protective energy that lets the good stuff, positive energy through, but protects you from any negativity or harshness, misunderstandings, judgments that stays out. So the old rigid protection where we feel we're trapped in our hearts changes eventually through working with it in the right way and becomes a healthy protection. Because it's not about not being protected, it's about being protected in the right way. So when I do the meditation, the longer one, I will guide you through different layers. So wherever you are, you meet that. And if you meet a protection, then you will stay with that and be present and loving with it. And then we'll go deeper. And then you might meet another layer of protection, or you might just drop into something beautiful. It doesn't matter where you will land. Any layer is okay. And last piece of teaching, you can look at your heart like the map we always use in metaphysics. It's like a map of concentric circles from the outside to the core. So we have many, many layers. And on the outside is usually protection and history and conditioned layers. And then you go deeper, and then you might come across repressed emotions or some hidden memories. And then you go deeper. And when you go really deep, you get to the core of the heart, which is the treasure chest that I always talk about. That beautiful place where we can feel deep love, peace, freedom, calm strength, softness, compassion, gratitude, forgiveness. All these qualities, they live in the treasure chest of the heart. And that's what we're really here to do, to learn to navigate from the surface, from any place of where we are trapped, to the core of the heart, where you get all the goods. And that's why we're doing the work.